Hi everyone, I'm Twisted, and in today's video I'm going to show you how I make my famous heart chokers. And if you don't know what they look like, here's a little picture because I don't have any pre-made one right now, and that's how we're going to make some. So let's get into the DIY. If you are wondering, no, it's not just for LPS, you can also make it for dolls or any little figurines you want to make it for. You just have to change the size, but that's it. Here are some examples of chokers I've made the exact same way I made my heart chokers. I just used a little button heart on this one and sewed it on the ribbon, and this one's just a little strawberry glued on it. So as you can see, you can get really creative and make anything you like. I also make spiky ones, but I don't have any pre-made right now. Now let's get into the materials. You'll need some wire, some scissors. Hopefully yours are not broken, but these ones are old and I like to use them to cut wire and things that I don't really care if it will damage them because they are very rough now. These ones are for ribbons and paper and other things like that. Some pliers. I like to use different ones and you'll see why later. But I used to do everything with this one, so if you don't have two different pliers, that's completely fine. A lighter or a candle, a needle, some thread that preferably matches the colour of the ribbon you're going to use. I'm making a heart choker, so obviously the heart loop. And if you're not making a heart choker, then anything else and any ribbon you like. I like to use 3mm ribbon because in my opinion it's the best for LPS chokers or any doll accessories. But if you want to use a larger ribbon, feel free to use a larger ribbon. I completely forgot, but you will also need a ruler obviously to measure your ribbon. So first of all I'm gonna cut this off because that's not pretty. And this is when you will need your candle or your lighter to burn the edge of your ribbon, and this makes it secure so that there's no threads coming out, you know. Like on this side you can tell that if I pull it or anything there's gonna be little threads. I don't know if you can see. I'm making it 3.5 centimeters, so about 1.5 inches. A bit less than 1.5 inches, and this size will fit most main 5 LPS, and it will fit all main 5 LPS, and it will also fit other ones. Oh my gosh, I can't speak. Used to speaking, explaining what I'm doing while doing it, so please forgive me. Anyways, burn the other edge of your ribbon like that, all secured. Now take a piece of wire and some pliers. Move this like that. Hold on, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Alright, you've got your wire and your pliers. Put it around and go around it. If you have any small jump rings, you can use small jump rings instead of doing this, but I don't have any, so I'm just making one myself. And then cut this. And now you've got a little circle jump ring. It's not a jump ring, but it's the same. And make sure you get the little bit that's popping out right here back, like nice and flat. There. So that's one thing done. You still need your wire to make the hook. To make the hook, it's very similar. Just wrap it around. Just like that. Then make sure you have some extra wire coming from the circle bit. And then turn it. Now cut the excess of wire be careful not to cut, well, be careful not to do what I just did. That was the perfect example of what not. A minute, let me just start over. So starting over, I'll just speed this up. I like to press this in a little bit so the hook is thin at the end. Is it focused? I hope it was. I'm really gonna have to soundproof my room because I'm pretty sure we can hear the music, but hopefully when I add the background music we won't hear it. Anyways. Don't make the same mistake twice. And you got a hook. And normally I use these pliers to make sure that there's no bits of wire coming out, and like making sure it's all nice and flat in the line so it doesn't scratch the LPS or anything, but didn't really need it right now, so yep. Now take your thread and get about 20 centimeters, so about like 7 inches, something like that, I think 7 to 8 inches. Snip. You definitely won't need that much, but it's just to be sure you have enough. And then tie a little knot at the end. Make it double, preferably. Snip this off. Pass the thread through your needle. Get your ribbon. Now, get your little loop, little circle, jump ring, and then I like to kind of fold this so that it's easier to pass it through the ring when it's kind of small. Up. Fold and make it go through like that. And now get it there, and this is why you have to be careful not to fold too much of the ribbon behind it, because otherwise it will be too short for whatever you're making it for. So this is about 3 millimeters of ribbon folded over the ring, and then grab your needle, and I like to start at the edge. And now make sure you go all along so it's nice and secured. If you don't know how to sew, you can definitely use some glue if that's easier for you. I just like to sew it because I feel like it's more durable and less likely to break. But you can totally use glue if you also don't have any thread or anything. Now the last thing is I do this, go through, but leave a little loop right here so that I can get back through to make a knot. So pull it a little bit, get back through on the other side and go through the loop like that. Pull it, and then I go through where the loop was. Well, this I tried. Go through it and make another knot. And normally this is pretty well secured. And so snip this off. And you got the first side of the choker done. I'm going to get my heart and pass it through the ribbon, just like that. And now repeat the same thing, fold it a little bit, pass it through fold it over. Make sure it's never more than 5mm, I would say. It's kind of hard to tell exactly how much. Try to visualize it, how much you need to wrap around an LP's neck or a doll's neck, anything you're making it for. Grab your needle and sew or glue. Snip that off, move this away, hop, recenter the heart, and you've got your chokers. Yay! Once you've added some glue on the bottom of your little spikes, just try to not have it stick to your finger, but stick to the ribbon, and that's not it. There we go, that's one. No, it's not. The glue is not gluing anymore, obviously. Other way to do this is to directly add some glue onto the fabric, like that, and then add the little spike right onto it, and that was a lot easier. Sorry, I just headbanged the camera. We've got it. Now we have a beautiful little heart choker with little spikes on it. You can also do it with any sort of gems you like. Obviously, just customize it however you like. Get creative. Now, let's try this on. Center it. Oh my gosh, hold on. If this is doing this too much, what you can do is get your pliers, tighten this bit a little bit, and hopefully it shouldn't pop out as much. I've made the hook too big. Gotta get a little piece and put this on. The hook goes into the hole, perfect, and then just adjust it around your little piece's neck, and you're done. Isn't it cute? Anyways, that's all for today. I really hope you enjoyed this little DIY, and if you tried to make your own heart choker or just chokers in general, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to know if you tried making it. And that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Bye!